What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all having a great day, and welcome back to some more Mark II content. You guys have been blowing up the past couple of videos, and with all my heart, thank you so much for all the continued love and support. In the last two videos, if you haven't seen them, we JZX 110 R154 swapped the Mark II, and then in the last video, I went ahead and drove the car around for a good hour, hour and a half, with no hiccups on the stock ECU. Everything runs immaculate. Honestly, the car feels like it runs and drives even better. But in this video, we are finally going to be installing my Standalone as well as tuning it. We got a lot of goodies from Haltech. I've had most of this stuff for over a year now. I got last Black Friday deal, but essentially for a Standalone, we're gonna be running a Elite 2500. I have my can gauge from my Skyline. I went UC10 digital dash, so I didn't end up selling this probably for this particular reason. I do have a 3D printed vented gauge holder coming, but that's going to be at the end of this week. It's going to be a plug and play to the factory harness. We got some map sensor bungs we need to get welded onto the charge pipe, map sensor, and then in this box I got the other day from my engine builder Albert. Be sure to hit him up for all of your engine building parts needs. Is a wideband 1 Haltech controller, which is going to be crucial for when we tune this thing. Essentially, we're going to be tuning the Mark II for drivability. It is relatively stock, minus an HPI intercooler kit, Kurtz 3-inch downpipe, and a Tomei catback, stock injectors, stock fuel pump. So nothing too crazy, but again, just finally installing all these parts before I get incredibly busy with Q4 of this year. But again, drivability should increase immensely, and I just want to enjoy the Mark II for what it is before next year we pull the 1J, get it built, and while the motor's out, we get the whole car pre-sprayed. On a side note though, the other day I just got done detailing and putting a 5-year ceramic coating on this 2004 R32 Golf. This thing is immaculate, super sick. Honestly, it came out incredible if I do say so myself. Nice 18Z front calipers, dual caliper rear. This thing is near immaculate. And if you are local here in Tucson and need your vehicle detailed, I can do pretty much anything. I'm your guy, and of course, I will always take great care of you. Mark II looks so cool. As I mentioned in the last video too, I did end up raising the Mark II ever so slightly, and it rides even better. Good thing I got these splitters on here to protect the BN sports kit. So, I do love this so much. But what we need to do when my client comes and picks up his car, we need to take off the front bumper, which is pretty easy. We need to remove this intake charge pipe and then mark where we're gonna put the map sensor bung. Essentially you want it between 4 and 5 inches from the throttle body. So I think somewhere in this area will suffice. I just need to double check. I mean, this is only per se temporarily for the next maybe 6 to 1 year before I take everything out and we do a full custom intercooler fabrication. But I'm thinking probably right here so it sticks out, so I have like adequate clearance to get past all of these power steering hoses and wiring. So we are going to be taking this to our boy Devin tomorrow at GSK Fab, who did the Skyline. Shouldn't take too long, but once that's in, we can get everything up, get everything wired. I will be using this vacuum port for vacuum reference for the ECU. And in terms of that, I'm thinking we run it nicely through some engine harness looms back into the firewall there. Not 100% sure how I'm going to route it. I'm going to play around. If I can avoid this point here and just go straight here to in here, that would make me very happy. But again, just going to do some careful planning, and then Evan will be coming over tomorrow afternoon and we'll get the Mark II running right. All right, charge pipe is off, marked where we need to get the aluminum map sensor bungs installed. They clear all obstructions and it's very easy to unclip and clip. Going to the parts bin, I found some Greddy silicone hose for the reference. And again, we're just going to utilize this reference port here, and I'm just going to take off that grommet, and that should, in theory, of course, go right through the firewall and lead me straight to the ECU, and that is the shortest route possible. But at this moment in time, everybody, just gonna wait till the morning, visit Devin, get the fabrication work done, get everything reinstalled, do some wiring, and then wait for Evan. All right, next morning, just got back from Phoenix. Again, went to my boy Devin at GSK Fab. Be sure to hit him up for all your fabrication needs. Got the IAT sensor bung welded on, looks good. Got the IAT sensor, map sensor installed as well. So let's go ahead and chuck this charge pipe back into its respective spots. Take that grommet out, and then let's go ahead and start disassembling the glove compartment and the side panel. The ECU is in here, and with all this removed, we should have access to the firewall underneath where we can run our wires and our vacuum line. All right, got the glove box out, just got the ECU out. I don't think I had to go this far to honestly remove everything, but in order to access a few bolts, definitely the center console needs to come out. Now with the ECU out, we can install the new one with the plug and play harness and start routing our wires. What's good, everybody? So essentially a week has passed since that last clip. Long story short, Evan came over, we got the standalone installed, we got it essentially tuned to like factory plus specifications. We kind of went to that let's just get it done mentality. I tried to film, but just a lot was going on and I didn't want to take up too much of Evan's time, and I also had some things to do as well, but Mark II is running phenomenal. Again, thank you so much, Evan, ES-Tune, if you're watching this. I'll go through with you all right now after this explanation of what we did, but we can't fully tune the Mark II. We can't do wide open throttle because Evan wants us to put at least 5 to 1,000 miles on the new clutch and the transmission. And then also my Haltech wideband controller came in faulty, even though it was brand new from the box. Essentially, the wideband controller hooked up to a 12-volt switch power source on a good ground. The ECU would recognize that the wideband controller is there, but the wideband controller wouldn't send a signal to the ECU, even though we'd let the O2 sensor heat up for a good 5-7 minutes. We then moved the power source to a constant power source on the same good ground, and again, same thing. ECU recognized that the wideband controller is there, but the sensor wouldn't send a signal to the ECU. So honestly, I'm thinking that the O2 sensor was bad from when I got it. It is a Bosch, and I've heard that they can be pretty faulty, but I sent it back to Haltech for them to repair. We even got a representative to chime in with us too, and same thing. Couldn't get it figured out, but sent back, it's gonna get repaired. So I'm hoping to hear back from Haltech within the next week or so, but again, it is tuned to like factory plus specifications. So we can essentially drive this thing to like Phoenix and back, no issues, and it runs phenomenally. So, no, we got the map sensor installed. We got the wire connected to the factory map sensor. We just hardwired it to a power source and a map sensor ground. I'll get this nice and heat sleeved pretty soon here, but that's pretty much for the bay. We got all the vacuum hoses against the firewall away from all the heat. Moving to the standalone. And we got the Elite 2500 doing its thing, just chilling there. Of course, when we finalize, or when we're on the final rendition of the Mark II, when we pull the motor, we get a custom wiring harness from Wiring Specialties. I will get the ECU either tucked up where the HVAC is, or probably put it in the glove box so it's hidden. But again, that's all nice and tucked away underneath the carpet, near the firewall. And then coming to the driver's side, like I mentioned, I did get my 3D printed gauge in, and I got the Haltech can gauge in as well. This was a pain in the butt to get in. Essentially, I ended up just popping out the vents on the, say, vents, and then there's two screws on the bottom here and on top here, and they are essentially inward. So the only way to really access it is to take off the dash, but what I ended up doing was just drilling through the supporting points and just pulling the vent out, and now this sits nice and flush, and this is going to live here forever. But I mean, not much I can do with this. I mean, we got coolant temps, AFRs when it works, and then battery voltage, RPM. I mean, this is pretty much set how I had it on the Skyline, but once we get that wideband controller in, we'll have more functionality with this. But again, Mark II is running great, and once we get that wideband controller back, we're gonna do some wide open throttles, get this thing dialed, and also I might just go ahead and buy the R32 Hitachi coil pack conversion kit, and then Evan wants me to buy a boost controller too. This 1J and the turbo can live at 14 pounds for the rest of its life until we, again, build the motor and go for a bigger boost. I know that was a lot of me yapping, but just bear with me. In the next couple of videos, we'll have this thing fully tuned and ready to rock. I'm stoked. We're making a lot of good progress. The year is almost ended, and I just want to get this thing essentially finalized at the state. So coil packs, boost controller, full tune, and we are good. But I'm gonna cut it here, guys. Just want to say thank you so much for all the continued love and support. And if you're new to the channel too and want to hit the subscribe button, that'd be awesome. And remember, aim high, drive low. I'll catch you next video. Take care.